Hello everyone, I'm Laura Cornish, Editor-In-Chief of Mining Review Africa, and I'm coming to you from Mining Indaba 2022. I am joined by Bruce Cleaver. Bruce is the CEO of the Beers Group, and we're going to talk all things diamonds. Bruce, thank you for joining me.
Hi Laura, thanks for having me.
So Bruce, traceability and authenticity in the diamond industry has become quite a big topic of conversation, and I think there's a lot of momentum happening in that area. What is De Beers doing?
Yeah, so traceability is kind of the word of the day. If you go back a bit, we actually recognized about 20 years ago that traceability was going to be an issue. And what I mean by that is consumers, we thought, were going to start asking where did their diamond come from? And much more than that, what did their diamond do along the pipeline? Did it do good for society? Did it do good for consumers? These are legitimate questions that consumers should ask. And the story of De Beers and its operations around the world is a number of tremendously exciting stories of amazing good done for communities out of diamond revenue. So we've got a great story to tell. We recognized as much as 20 years ago that this would become an issue, and we started to help nudge the industry towards, before we got into traceability, standards, best standards. We introduced something called our best practice principles, which is principles that would allow you as an ultimate diamond consumer or as a retailer to know that the diamonds you bought from us have been sustainably mined and have been sustainably cut and polished. And so that's required our suppliers along the way to sign up to our principles. We went from that to more robust systems, things like pipeline integrity, where we can now audit our entire pipeline and show you auditable and scalable that these things that we're talking about, the workers have been looked after, communities have been helped, etc. It's genuinely happened. Now, the Russian-Ukraine war, in a sense, accelerated this because you'll know, of course, that many Western governments have sanctioned Russian companies, and amongst the sanctions are sanctions on diamonds from Russia. Now, once a polished diamond is mixed with another polished diamond, unless you've got robust traceability systems in place, you can't easily tell where it came from. So this crisis has potentially even turned into an opportunity for us in that we've accelerated our work on traceability. So the reason I went into this business about standards is because not only should the diamond be traceable, but its standards and its ethics should be clear to people. So we've accelerated and announced last week the commercial acceleration of a really exciting blockchain program we call Tracr. Tracr has been voted one of the top 50 blockchains in the world, not once but twice by Forbes. And it allows people who then buy diamonds which are ultimately put on Tracr to know that they were responsibly sourced, ultimately to know where they came from, what good they did along the way, and it's a blockchain, so it's immutable. It can't be hacked, it's decentralized, it's not on a central spreadsheet. So once you're on it, you have a really, really robust understanding and assurance that it's responsibly sourced. We've already got about a quarter to a third of our production on Tracr, and by the end of the year, we'll have all of our production above a certain size on Tracr with our sightholder customers. So a very exciting development, actually, even in the middle of this terrible war.
Absolutely amazing. Now, Bruce, what comes to mind when you talk about Tracr is natural diamonds and lab-grown diamonds. Now, I know De Beers plays in both fields. So how do you contextualize it? Why?
So, just to be clear, De Beers is a natural diamond business. We always were a natural diamond business, and we always will be a natural diamond business. We invest enormous sums of money in our natural diamond business. We'll invest about $10 to $12 billion in the next 6 years in our natural diamond business. We did, when lab-grown diamonds came out, start a small lab-grown diamond business, but our objective was to make lab-grown diamonds for people who want them for what they actually are. So when we ask consumers, would you rather have this most amazing natural product made by the miracle of nature 1 billion years ago, and there is only one of them, because every natural diamond is unique, for your engagement, or something was made in a machine last week? The answer is pretty obvious. But there were some producers of lab-grown who were trying to sell them as the same or equivalent to naturals, which they're not. And they can't be, because we can spot them under a machine in under 5 seconds as to whether they're natural or not. So we've launched this little lab-grown business called Lightbox, but it's really designed to give consumers what they told us they wanted in lab-grown, which is fashion, fun, light-hearted, not the real thing. So we will not put laboratory or lab-grown diamonds on our Tracr blockchain at all. It is about being absolutely assured that the diamond you bought is natural, was rare, is real, was responsibly sourced, and did good along the way, along the value chain. So a very exciting development.
Okay, fantastic. Bruce, I also want to talk to you about the ESG side of the business. Now, I know Anglo-American as a group is doing a lot in that area. But tell me specifically, what is De Beers doing? And I'm thinking energy and sustainability.
So, we're very privileged to be part of Anglo and to be part of the sustainable mining plan. But of course, our world goes further because we sell a luxury product to end consumers in the end consumer markets around the world. So our sustainability strategy is almost the sustainability strategy of Anglo Plus. So we focus on very similar things to Anglo-American. We focus on the environment, we focus on communities, we focus on equality, a big thing at De Beers, and we focus on standards. But I'll give you a couple of really good examples of the things that we do in the sustainability space. We are very big, as you know, in Botswana. We have a very, very big joint venture there with the government of the Republic of Botswana. But in the north of Botswana is the Okavango Delta, maybe the last great pristine wetland and wildland of the world. And it's slowly declining because of water usage in Angola and north of Botswana. So we've formed a partnership with National Geographic, where we will spend a lot of money together with National Geographic working on sustaining the Okavango Delta forever and coming up with solutions for farmers in Angola and solutions for water usage in Angola that allows the Delta to flourish. Now that's a great thing to do, but it's a great thing for consumers to see as well. So those are the kind of things we think of on top of what we do with Anglo-American. I'll give you another example. We have a lease area in Namibia, again in a joint venture with the Namibian government, where we have a lot of land on the west coast of Namibia. And it turns out that kelp has got carbon capture qualities of something like 50 times as much as forests. And so we're investing in kelp forests in the sea. Now it's early stage, it may not work or it may work, but it's a really good example of the kind of thinking we do, because that can capture so much more carbon than forests, and you can do things with the kelp that you grow as well, which are good for communities, sustain communities, etc. So very focused with Anglo, but then also aimed at the end consumer, and very exciting stuff. And I'm sure you'll talk to lots of people this week. There's really exciting stuff going on in the ESG world.
That's absolutely incredible. Now, Bruce, I can't take the opportunity not to ask about the operations themselves. So we know Venetia Underground project, and that's on the brink of production startup. Tell me where we are with the project and give me a bit of insight into Botswana and Namibia as well.
So our production guidance for the year, at the beginning of the year, was 30 to 33 million carats across the group, and our guidance remains in that range. Notwithstanding some COVID challenges, the operations in general are doing quite well across the world. Botswana, the biggest producer by some way. But we were thrilled in Namibia earlier in the year to launch a new recovery vessel. So we recover diamonds off the seabed in Namibia in a very gentle way. It's just taken right off the seabed. There's no mining involved. And that's a new vessel, and so it's effectively a new mine. It'll do about 500,000 very high value carats a year. And that we built and constructed during COVID and got it in the water under budget and on time. So that's a terrific development. Venetia Underground project is going well. As you said earlier, it will deliver first production towards the end of this year or early next year. And as the open pit is coming towards the end of its life, it's kind of winding down. So, we've been investing a great deal in the future in De Beers. At Zhuaneng, the Cut 9 project, which is a huge cutback to get to the next cut, is doing really well. And so that's a good few years off until we get to the ore, but the work being done by the team up there is tremendous. So a lot of progress on expanding production and maintaining production around the world.
Always positive news coming out of De Beers, Bruce. I love it. So I have noticed the emblem that you're wearing on your jacket. Please tell me what that's about.
So that's a badge of a tremendous organization that I'm a part of, UN Women. So the UN Women, which is a branch of the UN, was started some years ago, and a part of it is what they call He for She. And He for She is about finding male leaders around the world in different capacities who will carry the torch for women's empowerment across different organizations. So I'm very privileged that there are a number of CEOs, presidents, and university vice chancellors who are the folks who participate in UN Women He for She. And I'm one of their participants. So it's been a great thing for me to be involved in, but it's also helped push De Beers' gender equality much more.
Oh, brilliant. Bruce, thank you for your time. It has been fantastic to meet you and to always talk about the amazing things that De Beers is doing in the industry. I just really enjoy it. Thank you so much.
Thanks, Laura. It's great to catch up.
Cheers.
Thanks.
Thanks so much again for joining me. For more videos from Mining Indaba 2022, follow www.miningreview.com.